Well, end of day 4 here in Paris, and once again I'm joined by two-time Olympian and world champion James Magnussen, the enemy of all things vegans.
You should be Mr. Slaughter Goats.
No, I never said that. I thought it, but I didn't say it.
Oh,
Don't
boy.
include me. Now, Maggie, this Olympics in the pool's been billed as the Aussies versus the Yanks. What's the scoreboard?
Quick update for you, Matty. So our best Olympics ever, Tokyo 2021, 7 gold medals. That's what we're aiming for. We're day 4 and we're 4 gold medals deep. So we're on track to make it our most successful Olympics ever. More importantly, the Seppos, the Americans, 2 gold medals.
Oh, no.
So we have a gap. And as importantly in some of these races tonight, like we were watching, not only is Australia winning races, but America are losing events that they would have been banking on for gold medals. So this rivalry is at fever pitch at the midway point of this swimming meet.
Now, Maggie, I've sat with you and watched you see Aussies win gold medals. I've never seen you as excited as Kaylee McKeown.
Yeah.
Firstly, before we talk about her and the family, tell me about the swim.
So the swim itself, Kaylee was going up against the current world record holder, Regan Smith, who broke that world record only 6 weeks ago. So there was no bigger task for Kaylee McKeown than gold in this individual 100 backstroke. This was going to be her toughest race. She was behind with 15 metres to go, and as Kaylee does, she dug deep, she fights. She's like a dog with a bone in that 100 backstroke. She overcame both the Americans, who took silver and bronze. Gold for Australia again. Now she becomes the 3rd woman to win the same event at back-to-back Olympics after Dawn and Day 1 Ariane.
Wow. Okay, tell me about the family. Tell me about the story.
So the first time I met Kaylee, she was at the pool supporting her big sister Taylor, who swam in my era. She was just this little kid with the big Coke bottle glasses, very unassuming. No one knew what was to become of Kaylee McKeown. Tragically, her father passed away in 2020, just before the Tokyo Olympics, so he never got to see his daughter win Olympic gold. She's been from very humble beginnings. As you can see, she's a great looking girl. She could be anything she wants to after swimming, but she's so humble. She's a knockabout. She's Oka. Remember, she did the F yeah after the gold medal in Tokyo.
That's right.
And she's just the darling of Australian swimming right now.
Yeah, knockabout. I like that.
Yeah.
That's very Australian. Now, some of the other ones, like the Australian, the 100-metre freestyle semi, Kyle Chalmers. What are your thoughts there, Maggie?
This was a bit of a roller coaster day for the 100 freestyle boys. So Kyle Chalmers goes in 2nd to the final tomorrow night, which is exactly where he wants to be. In Tokyo, he made the slip up of going too easy in the semi-final, ended up in an outside lane, and then couldn't see Caleb Dressel in that final, which eventually cost him the gold medal. He couldn't see him on the 2nd lap. He did everything he could from the outside lane, but just got touched out. Tomorrow night, he's going to be in the thick of it, surrounded by 19-year-olds Pan from China, who he had a hell of a day. Nearly missed the semi-final, ended up in lane 8, then drops the hammer tonight and ends up in lane 4 tomorrow night. And young 19-year-old Popovici, he won gold in the 200 freestyle. So Kyle will be bookended by Romania and China.
Now, Maggie, I'll ask you this, right? If you were in an outside lane, would that play with your mind? Would it really worry you?
It does a little bit, Matty. So we had a thing called Lucky Lane 6 for Australian swimmers, where we've won multiple gold throughout history in Lane 6. And I stuffed up my semi-final in Barcelona at 2013 World Championships. Yeah. And I go, I wanted to be in Lane 4 and I ended up in Lane 6. And the head coach sat me down and said, listen to this history of Lucky Lane 6. And he went through all the swimmers in history. Lo and behold, final comes, Lane 6, I win the gold, win the world title, and the tradition continues.
Wow. You actually, we had a yarn the other night and you were talking about like strange things with the pool. You said once at a meet there was like the filter system.
Yeah.
Tell us that story.
So basically what happens, as you know, they have filtration systems in the pools to take out all the dirty bacteria and stuff in the water. This filtration system was causing like a big whirlpool effect from lane 1 to lane 8. So people in one lane on the way up were going faster and people in the other lane on the way back were going faster.
Good.
It was seriously bizarre. A lot of complaints about this pool. And I must say most of those complaints are being aimed from our friends in America. They're not happy with the depth of the pool. They're saying there's too many cameras in the pool. It's causing waves for the swimmers. Is that a coincidence that they've only got 2 gold medals and they're complaining about the pool depth?
Yeah,
You be the judge.
Okay, what about Molly?
Molly, tomorrow night, 100 freestyle. She did it in the 200, so pressure's off for her. She's got her individual gold. She's already endeared herself to the Australian public, but I believe she'll double it up. The 100, 200 freestyle is a much coveted double. We haven't seen it done since way back to like Peter Van and Hugenband in Sydney 2000. If Molly can get that double, she's then got more relays to come. It's essentially at the moment, we've got Ariane racing, Molly racing, Kaylee to become the greatest Olympian in history. What an insane scenario, all at the same time at the same Olympics.
Now, Maggie, I was with you last night. We were walking through as we looking towards get our seats, and you pointed at the warm-up pool and you said, that's where it all happens. Like, you know, paint the scene to tomorrow night.
All right, so you've got the warm-up pool, and all around the warm-up pool, you've got all the team and staff for all the different swimmers. So you've got physios, masseuses, doctors, coaches, scientists, all that stuff. So it's a hive of activity. But right before the 100 freestyle starts, it empties, and they all go up to the stands to find a seat because none of them want to miss that 100 freestyle. So that warm-up pool is left to 8 swimmers and 8 coaches, 1 swimmer per lane. And that's your 8 finalists for the 100 freestyle. No one talks to each other. No one looks at each other. You can slice the air with a knife. The tension is so high. And then you get to the marshalling area, and everyone has their own little idiosyncrasies in that marshalling area. Some people listen to the music and bop along. Some people are very focused. Some people are slapping themselves and trying to suck out other people. But the tension is palpable. And as they build up the crowd before that 100 freestyle, that marshalling area starts shaking and rattling as you hear the stamping of feet and the beat of the music. And you know this is about to be the biggest race of my life.
What did you do? You did it all.
I didn't have music because I thought I'm going to be up enough that I'm just trying to stay calm and breathe through it. And it really is this moment, you have this realization, and when you hear the roar of the crowd and you feel that tension, you start to understand the magnitude of what's about to happen. You start to think about those 20 million Australians watching you back home. You start to think about the fact that it could be another 4 years before I get a shot at this again. And that's what makes an Olympics so different to any other event.
Something else I observed last night, Maggie. Talk me through this. So you've got 50 of the greatest swimmers in the world, right, in the building, in the pool or in the building. Inside of the pool, you've got some bloke in a pair of board shorts and a flotation device. This is a lifesaver. and it'd be like Mike Tyson having like a 4-foot bodyguard.
Of the most useless jobs in the world, the lifeguard at the Olympic pool. Get this, Matty, the other night, someone's cap fell off in their race. So the lifeguard strips down to his Speedos to dive in and grab the swimming cap. And let me say, in a world of Olympic swimming bodies...
Oh, mate, I'll tell you, looked like a beanbag, lost the bean.
That surmises it very well.
Yeah. Now we're going to bring in News Corp journo, one of the best, Will Swanton. Willie boy.
Welcome, Will.
How are you,
Good,
mate?
good. Hi, mate.
You going good?
Well, the lifeguard from the swimming was needed at the surfing the other day because Jack Robinson, like one of my heroes of these games, nearly drowned at Teahupo'o, the most dangerous surf break you've ever seen, and that was full on. But anyway, so that guy who was looking after the pool with not much to do was needed at Teahupo'o.
Well, what about that, Will? So the surfing's in Teahupo'o. To let people know, Teahupo'o roughly in English means pile of skulls.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
It's probably the most notorious break in the world. Plenty. It's claimed lives. Was there any? It was postponed. It was too big. Has there been any close calls?
Oh, massively. Well, I mean, Jack. So. I'm not sure how the draw worked out, but it ended up with Jack Robinson, who's one of the best big wave surfers in the world, and the world number 3 or 4 at the moment, went up against John Florence from Hawaii, one of the other best big wave surfers in the world, who's top 5 in the world at the moment, and they ended up against each other in round 3. And mate, like I swear, it is the most terrifying surfing joint you've ever seen. And you've surfed at ladies at Merriweather. I know that.
Yeah, look. Hey, Will, what about this?
You know how dangerous surfing can get.
Oh, yeah,
But this place is... Anyway, Jack got held under for 2 waves. And a 2-wave hold down is like, that is, no joke kind of thing.
And how it generates the power. I was talking to Bo Emmett today. mate of mine, former pro surfer. I said, why is it so natural? Why is it so powerful? He said, well, Matty, it travels across thousands of kilometres in the Pacific Ocean, and then suddenly it just hits the shallow reef.
Yep.
And if, righto, where this one, Will, I'm going to give you a scenario. Two blokes paddle out for a heat. One's 10 out of 10 brilliant, one's 10 out of 10 brave. Who are you backing?
Mate, it was that close, right? But then Jack and John both got held under by this monster set that came through. And what happens at Chope is you get kind of washed down into the deep channel next to it. And so you're breathless and you've got no... But they both kind of came up at the same time. And it was one of the best moments of the Olympics, maybe a bit lost because it's offshore kind of thing. But Jack stared at John, and then they did this paddle battle to get back out, to get priority for the next wave. And that's what won Jack the heat. So in that moment of when they're both exhausted, they both had more or less a near, a close shave, but there was some enough grit in Jack that he just gave, and they were literally this close to each other, glared at him, and then took off and won the heat.
So after he had that scare, can he still come back and win a gold medal? Is he able to shake
100%.
that off and get his head back in the game?
100%. Well, it's a funny. Also, the way the draw is stacked up now is that Jack and Ethan Ewing, the other Australian, are both through the quarterfinals. So they surf against each other, which is a bit of a bummer because someone's going to get knocked out and they could both win gold. Also great, obviously someone's going to get through the semis. But I mean, Jack grew up Margaret River, one of the other great big wave spots of the world. So he's a huge chance of winning gold.
We're seeing some great pictures right now, Teahupo'o, and look, they tell me it doesn't matter whether, even if it's 2 or 3 foot, it's still pretty hairy. So to have it as big as it is today is pretty incredible. But we're big wave surfers, completely different breed.
Nuts.
Bloke I speak to quite a bit, Central Coast boy Ross Clark Jones. I remember talking to Ross, and I said, "You ever been close to dying in the water?" He went, "Yeah." He said, "I was in Java once," and he said, "Got bowled over in the reef," and he said, "I was under for 3 waves," and I said. He said, "I thought I was going to die." I said, "What did it feel like?" He said, "I was okay." I remember once, right, they did an experiment with him and Tommy Carroll, another big wave surfer, great big wave, an absolute legend, Tommy. And they said they took him to the very top of a diving board, where they're 30, 40, 50 metres up, and they put a heart rate monitor on him, and they put Tommy up first. Now, Tommy walks to the front of the diving board, and his heart rate's about 110 beats, and he just closes his eyes and he just focuses, heart rate goes down and he jumps in. Ross's heart rate's at 55 beats, he just goes and he just jumps straight in anyway. Just totally fearless.
It's completely fearless. Well, it's an amazing, surfing there, it feels like you're kind of surfing off a waterfall, if you know what I mean. Like, it's such a steep drop, and it's a bit of a mutant wave, and that it almost goes backwards, and the shape isn't right, but it's all courage there, and Jack's got it.
Hey, Will, good on you, brother.
Thanks, mate.
Mate, you're a good man.
Thanks, mate. Oh, thanks.
I really, mate, I was with Will. We were on the train all the way to Marseille, and we just...
You never stopped talking about the '97 grand final.
I never stopped talking about myself. It's my favourite subject. And one of the great photos today, we're talking about Teahupo'o, look at that, Gabriel Medina, one of the history's greatest surfers. That's a great photo, Maggie.
Ripper. What's the award you get for the photo of the year? That's got to be short price favourite.
Mate,
you answered that one, didn't you?
Yeah, took it of myself, a selfie. Now, just letting people know, you hear a little bit of noise above us. Got helicopters just cruising around. They've come to pick Maggie up. Take him to his ivory tower. But joining us, we've got Brent Reid, News Corp journo. Reid, mate, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. I had a good day.
Did you have a good day? Was it a good day?
Pretty heartbreaking day, anyway.
Well, you've been covering off the sevens, the men's sevens, the women's today. Reedy, unbelievable. Firstly, we'll just say we missed out completely. We got beat by the US in the gold medal game. I cannot believe we lost that game against Canada. We're leading 12-0, 5 seconds before half-time. Looked like we were going to win by 30.
Yeah. It did, Matty. They were in total control of that game, weren't they? Then Canada got a penalty right in the stroke of half-time, took a quick tap, and everyone just went to sleep. Everyone stopped, and the Canadian girl just shot downfield and scored a try, and it completely changed the game.
It was
and the second half was basically gone. Australia didn't turn up again, so it was... disastrous, really.
And mate, there was nothing wrong with the tactics. The tactics were very good. I was watching the way they were playing. It was perfect. There was like long pass, stretch to the defence, tight little inside ball, short pass. They were playing terrific. The loss was born totally out of complacency. Lost momentum, couldn't get it back.
Yeah, and they played so well the first 2 days of that tournament, Matty. That was the thing. And they came here expecting to win a gold medal. That's what they came for. And I think a lot of people thought they would win that gold medal. But it was like that try. It just sucked all their confidence out of them. Yeah. And they came back in the second half and they were just, they didn't play well at all. And then obviously they played the US in the bronze medal game, and that was, again, another disaster. And they had the game in their keeping again and lost it in the last seconds there. So, they were obviously heartbroken, girls in tears. And really, the thing I think, Matty, they had no one to blame themselves, because both those games they should have won.
Definitely.
After that Canada match, we saw all the girls on the field crying, and some of them were quite distraught after the Canada match. How was the body language by the time they got back out on the field for the bronze medal match against the USA?
Well, they started pretty well, to be fair. So, I mean, they started that game well, but they had a chance in the second half, and it was just they bombed it completely. It was a lay-down misère try. You just had to nail the catch and pass. They didn't nail it, and that changed the game. Yeah. And that gave United States the opportunity to come back at the end of the game and win it. So just really disappointing for them because, as I said, they thought they were going to win gold, and they've gone home with nothing.
It just shows what pressure does, doesn't it? Because as I said before, how you play sevens, you move the football, tight angles. As soon as they got behind from Canada, it just became claustrophobic. That's what pressure does.
I'll tell you what was interesting, mate.
Yeah.
Tim Walsh, the coach, afterwards, in the mix-up, he's quoted a Kipling poem, "Triumph and disaster are imposters that you treat the same either way." And I thought, less poetry, less Kipling, more ball control, they probably win the football game, Matty.
Mate, as Al Davis would say, we said it last night, just win, baby. The Aussie side, who impressed you through the tournament, though?
Well, I think the star of that team, or the stars of that team, are the Levi sisters, Matty and Tegan Levi. They are unbelievable. Matty's been outstanding all year on the World Series tour. There's AFL clubs want a piece of her, NRLW clubs want a piece of her. She's a superstar, and she broke the record for tries in this tournament. I think she scored 14 in the end. But her sister was a younger sister. I didn't come with the same hype around her, but I thought she was great as well. She actually was. She's great, really good AFL player. Would have been number 1 in the AFL draft, but they said to the AFL clubs, "I'm not going to play AFL. I'm going to go to rugby union. I want to play for sevens and go to the Olympics." And I think she ended up going number 4 in the draft to the Gold Coast Suns. So they're a very talented family.
A lot of talented players, Rudy, and we've got the NRLW is just growing exponentially. What do you think?
I think if they're not having a crack, Matty, if they're not looking at the World Sevens Series, they're out of their minds. Because we saw the athletes there, unbelievable athletes. The Americans, the British players, the Ireland players, the French.
The French player.
The French were ridiculous. Akemba, Serafima Akemba, I think her name was. Just unbelievable talents. And it's a great opportunity to grow that side of the game, the NRLW. Go international, look international. Because there's talent there.
Yeah. Gold to New Zealand, silver to Canada, and the bronze to the US. Right, let's have a talk about the Boomers.
Hey, Matty, can I say quickly, I'll tell you what caught my eye today.
Yeah.
When I was obviously out at Stade de France, but the boxing, did you see the transgender furor that's emerged in the boxing? Peter Bedell's all over this. But we thought this would happen at some point in the games, there'd be a transgender issue. And there's a couple of fighters in the boxing who were thrown out, I believe, the world championships because they had raised testosterone levels. But they're allowed to fight here. So it's caused a furor. Yeah. And Pete Bedell's all over it.
Pete's written about it.
He's all over it. He quoted one of the coaches.
Yeah. I didn't know Pete Bedell, by the way. For people that know Pete, rugby league reporter, we in the hotel there's been complaints all the time for thumping all night. It's Pete doing burpees.
It's a true story.
Yeah, I know. I had accusations levelled at me.
In the morning. It's ridiculous.
He's built like he had a pump water. So now today the Boomers they played a really strong Canadian team full of superstars. They lost 93-83. We're going to talk about Josh Giddey in a second, mate. The Boomers were outstanding in the first half, particularly the first quarter. Very, very strong. Giddey outstanding. Third quarter, they put the clamps on Giddey and made it really tough. We subsided from then. A lot of good there. A lot of good signs there. What happens from there? We're still in a very good position to progress. We play Greece next. Greece were beaten by Spain, who we beat. Now they got Giannis in the side, but we're expected to win.
So if we beat Greece, is there for and against whether we get through or we straight through on aggregate?
There's, as you
Bits
know,
of-
with these things,
bits
I had
happen.
a look at the things that were going on, and honestly, I couldn't follow it. But put
Yeah.
it this way, it'd be good if we beat Greece. I tell you what,
You just got to stop the Greek freak, don't you?
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, exactly.
Just stop him. on
He's
the
not
game.
he's not in the village, he's not on the cardboard beds, he's not on the vegan diet, so he's probably fine.
Hopefully he's not in the country. Josh Giddey had 19.7 rebounds, 6 assists. I tell you what a big move. He's off to the Chicago Bulls.
Huge.
I mean, that's a superstar move, isn't it?
Yeah.
What does that do for NBA in Australia, for merch sales, for TV viewing, for the whole game?
Oh, huge. I mean, look at when Longley went to the Chicago Bulls. And the Bulls, the Bulls have had us a million years, but it's the Chicago Bulls. I know. I'll tell you one thing about Giddey, right? Watching Giddey. Giddey has unbelievable unconscious skill. Now, what I mean by that is, oftentimes you'll see people and they'll do a clever little flash play, but it'll be, preordained. They'll.
Yeah.
What he's unbelievable at Giddey, his skill is so reactive, it's unconscious. He reacts to a person a lot with his no-look passes and through the legs. He's quite unbelievable. Rudy, you're a soccer man. You played in the NSL back in the day for
Back in the
Brisbane.
day, a long time ago,
Well, the
yeah.
great Johan Cruyff. I use loads of one of the greatest players.
Comparing me to Johan Cruyff?
No, not you. No, just hang on a second. Don't jump in too early. But Cruyff said, I thought of this with Giddey. Cruyff once said, he said, mate, I'm not even the most skillful person in the team. He said, the difference with me is I know when to apply the skill. Yeah. And that's what it's been with Josh Giddey. Look,
Hey, buddy, is Giannis a vegan? Is that right or not? Is it
Giannis.
Giannis, the Greek freak, vegan?
I don't believe
well,
so.
put it this way, I hope he is over the next 2 days.
Oh, look, my inbox. Matty doesn't have social media, so we're not sure whether his inbox is copying a hammering like mine. But to all the vegans out there, peace to you, my brethren.
Talk about pampering the athletes. They put the air conditioning on. I mean, how?
We needed it today, mate. It was pretty hot today. It was 35 degrees out at Stade de France. Pretty warm. You need air conditioning. They need them in the buses, though. The media buses.
Yeah,
mate,
Media
the
bus.
buses.
It's unbelievable.
The buses, I'm going to sleep easy tonight. You know why? I've left no carbon footprint today. I sweated my ass off on that bus, but there was no air conditioning.
Oh, boys, loved it. Good on you, Missile.
Always a pleasure.
Rudy. Mate, so I took it to say, some of your stories last night, me and Missile have been talking them all day. Come on, share the ones. No. Maybe tomorrow night.
My wife might tune in, mate.
Yeah.